Hi there, I'm Deanna Joy, and I'm going to share some things with you about time. We're in this time that we experience, which is kind of a construct for our learning and this classroom we call Earth. Time is not linear. I know this from several experiences that I will share with you today. Earlier, I was watching a YouTube with two young people having a discussion about lots of things. They were delightful. I say young, they were probably in their 30s, mid-30s, late 30s. I did make me feel very old because I'm 74. They were delightful and enlightened and had wonderful ideas. But while watching it, I kept thinking, I know a lot about these subjects, all of them that they were talking about mostly, and they just mentioned time. I thought, I need to share what I know and my experiences, just jump in there. The thing is, I haven't shared much because I don't want to draw attention to myself. I just don't. But here I go. I'm going to jump in and do it anyway. So I'll just start with one subject, and then I tried it once before on something, and that's what I'll do, a patchwork quilt. Okay. This is 2021. This is January. About 2 years ago, I was just in my home, just doing some simple meditation, nothing really deep, nothing really heavy. Some incense and meditation and some nice flute music, and I was struggling with some things, like happens, and I was wishing that there was some way my future full potential, fully evolved self could visit me, only if she could reassure me that I was going to be okay and that I was on the right path, or steer me onto the right path. And I was thinking about this, and suddenly I flashed on a memory. And I remembered when I was 8 or 9 years old, and I was in my bed, and this older woman visited me. I can't describe the details, I just remember that it happened, and reassured me. When I was young, I thought I was ugly and stupid. I was neither. When I was young, I was beautiful and didn't know it. Age has caught up with me, but that's another subject. I wanted to be anybody but me. I had no confidence. I talked a lot, sang and danced, and the stuff that I did well, that I came into this world with, to not get attention, but to divert it from me and my pain. Anyway, that being said, I remember that this woman assured me that I was going to grow up and be beautiful, that I would be a mother, and that I would have a lovely garden, and that I would know all about those plants. I was always wondering what their names were when I would forage in vacant lots, picking things and smelling them and thinking, this has got to be something. This has got a fragrance. I know it's got a name. And I'd bring them home. My mom said, these are just weeds. Nobody wants weeds on the table. Well, I have learned their name, and I have an herb garden and an extensive garden. People have come from out of town to tour even. Anyway, this old woman assured me that I would grow up and be beautiful, and I would sing, and I would have a cottage, a beautiful little, I call it a gingerbread house. And the children in the neighborhood would come, and their parents would come and visit, and I would share my knowledge of healing foods. I don't think I knew the word herbs at that time. And something about oils. Well, I could go on. That's all I remember. I don't embellish, because to embellish, it takes the validity. You lose your credibility. That's all I remember. I remember that it happened, and I thought it was a dream or something. Well, anyway, I am 74, so a couple years ago, I'm meditating, and I had this flashback on me visiting myself when I was just a young girl, thinking of the dates and stuff. I was 8 or 9, because I knew what house I lived in. that I had visited myself as a young child, assuring the scared little girl who just wanted to be loved that she would be. It didn't keep her from going through lots of trauma and lots of hard stuff, but she kept on going. I'm here. That person that visited me was me. I didn't know it then. I had no idea. But when I look in the mirror now, I recognize the face. So I thought, wow, this is amazing. It was me as a mature person, and this visit to her was about when I was about 62. I was living in a tree house. Almost 12 years ago, I moved into this little house, which I call my I call my gingerbread house. It's delightful, little brick building, and it looks like a gingerbread house. And yeah, but when I was 62 and moved in, when I was living in the tree house, I meditated walking through the woods and thought about my younger self and thought, I wished I could go and tell that little girl she'd be living in her dream tree house and all the things that she would be doing and all. And then when I moved into this house a year later, I did that same thing, wishing that I could go back and visit her and reassure her of, you would be a mommy and you would sing. And I sang and I played my guitar and I did a lot. The Sea Monster took the singing voice, but I could only sing the blues now, and I don't want to. But anyway, it's a new instrument, but that's okay. And paint, I have a lot of creative talent. I always had creativity, but there's things that, well, when I was 62 and moved into this house was the first time I painted, and my house is full of paintings, and I'm certainly not afraid of color. I used to just do pen and ink pretty much, a little pastel, but we'll do that later. So while I had this experience in my home 2 years ago about the flashing back on visiting myself when I lived in the treehouse when I was 8 or 9, this mature self reassuring the scared little girl, then I had another flash. And I don't take drugs and I don't even drink. It's just a simple broad daylight, sitting by the window, meditation and music. And suddenly I flashed on another time. When I was 24 years old and my oldest child, first one, was 2 years old, I lived in Norman Oklahoma for a couple months. And I was in the backyard. We were on our own. A lot of things had happened. We lived behind a big church, and there was a little play yard, and he would play there, and I would just walk around in the backyard and look at the weeds and wonder what they were, picking things like that I know what they are now, pepper grass and such, knowing their names and using them, lamb's quarter and purslane and whatever. When I was standing there, I remember I can't tell you the details, and I don't embellish, because if you embellish, you lose your credibility. That spirit can't witness to you that it's true. So I don't embellish. I remember what I do, and I don't remember what I don't. But I remember envisioning this older woman with a braid, long braid. And I had cut my hair off at that time, visiting me and reassuring me about the future and that I would be okay and different things about my life. I don't remember too much except that my home, my house, everywhere I would live would be a place that would just draw people to it. The young kids, the teenagers with problems, and little kids and their families. And anyway, I knew I was on the right track and I would be okay. So I flashed on that and realized, oh my gosh, I look in the mirror and the spots and things, and the eyes that used to be big, and I don't wear any makeup, the thick lashes I used to have and really thick brows, and they're not now, they're thin, and it's just the way it happens, and the hair is not thick anymore either. But A few years ago it was, when I was 62, it still was. I'm chattering, I'm sorry. But I realized what I had envisioned at 24 years old was me at 62. And my path has been an interesting life, very interesting. I can say thank you in 35 languages. Speak two, not the second one, nor not fluently, but I can get by with everything I need to do. I won't discuss deep philosophy. I can't even tell you how a TV works or this camera thingy in English, so I wouldn't try it in Norwegian. So a couple times in my life, when I was 8 or 9 and when I was 24, I, as an older woman, visited myself. With that happening, I know it happened. I can't explain why. I just know that time isn't linear. I've had some other experiences that it would take longer to share, and I'm not that brave yet. I just know it's true, and it happened. So with that, the fact that I remembered and realized and connected those sparkly dots, I realized that in a way, that's my higher potential, fully evolved self saying, yeah, you've got this. You've been practicing for what you're going through this last year, last 3.5 years really, but this last year in particular. You've been practicing for this all your life. You've got this. And we have this. There's many changes going on. There's a lot of voices out there, and many of them are well disguised. They carry signs that say peace and safety, and they're not. And question everything. Question everything. Study. Read, ponder, listen to good music, eat on purpose, and don't believe everything you think. You didn't expect that one, huh? Not just what you read and see and hear, but not everything you think. Minds are tricky. Be true to yourself. And if you're looking for relationships, be that person that other person is seeking. Be that person that kindred spirit's looking for. What is it Rumi said? Lovers don't, I'm paraphrasing Rumi, what an injustice. Lovers don't finally meet. They've always been in each other all along. Something to that effect. Soulmates, you're already connected. This is an interesting life. It's playing out very strange. Very isolated, and the loneliness is about to undo me. I have to be honest. I know we're all connected and everything, and the world is full of dimensions, and I'm not truly alone, although I don't see anybody else here. And there's a lot going on that's scary. Anyway, with that time, I have a lot of time to study and read and ponder and search with no agenda, no hidden agenda. My only agenda is to find pure truth in love for right action, for right living. I don't want something that just praises me, compliments me, that's easy, I want truth so I can adjust myself accordingly. And from my own experiences, which are vast because I'm wise, because I'm very old, life is playing out the way it should. We've all come here, and it's like Shakespeare said, it's a stage. And many have said that. Each are playing out their role, and each one that comes into our life has a gift for us. Each one is a teacher. Get the lesson. Get the lesson. If you don't, it'll come at you again in another form, wearing skirt or pants or as a rug pulled out from under you. Each moment has that gift. And it's all going to work out well if Keep your heart pure. Cleanse that inner vessel and hold on to good, pure intention. Be true to yourself. And we make mistakes. We try to correct them and get back on the path. But life is good. Say yes to it. Say yes to life. It's full of surprises. And I can assure you, some of the things that are going to unfold over the next year, 2, 5 perhaps, are going to shake the very foundation of this world. Everyone is going to be surprised. Just stand. We say stand in holy places, which means, live from your heart. Not just your mind or your heart, but those two connecting to each other. Live from that space with the brain, the heart, and the gut brain talking to each other. And don't keep your mind so open that your brain falls out on the floor. It's something I've always warned about to people. But live from that space with a connection for right action. And say yes to life. And the most important, I had a poster once that said, it's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice. So my response and finish is, kindness matters. Kindness always matters. Even when you have to reprove someone, set them straight and call them out on their draconian, Luciferian, Orwellian stuff and things, and shite storm that's going on all over in many dimensions. Do it with kindness. Do it with the intention of making things better. Okay, let's see how that goes. My poor sore eyes, and no vanity here. There's no makeup. I purposely didn't comb my hair to do this because I just thought, okay, I'm just going to do this just as is, because in the raw, that's me, and that's how it is. So I send you all love and light and good vibes for comfort and healing, clarity, courage, and peace. Thank you. Bye-bye.